never a slave. I never had slaves. But you benefit for the crimes of your forefathers. The reason why you are able to walk around and enjoy Hollywood is because your fathers had to kill. They had to rape and they had to murder innocent people for you to have that opportunity. Does it make sense? You said you were descended from a man named Esau in the Bible. I think you better learn history. Okay, you are the original caveman, and this is the original caveman that you see right here. The original.
I'm in a hell was never expected to grow. Just also go sat in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place to continue.
Let's get some incense, some more incense. Hey, shalom, Israel. Seems like we having technical difficulties. This truth must go forward. Hey, shalom, Israel. Make sure you share this video. It was a few people in the class before the class started, but started having technical difficulties. Hopefully, you know, the stream like smooths out. I don't know what's going on with the choppiness, but yeah, we still gonna push this word. I'm still gonna bring it. We're gonna be talking about the history of the white race, the biblical history of the white race, and some other things. For time's sake, let's just hurry. I want to talk about real quick. I had some stories I wanted to go over. Maybe I'll just get to one of them. Tim Scott. It's a video. This is a LG, you know, alphabet community video. I just warn people that these images that you're going to see, this video is not for children. Okay. So let me get that. Pull this up. Let's see, where's it at? Oh, here it is.
These people are naked.
Now let me just say that this is, well, you see it right here. It says it's in Seattle. It's a Pride organized walk or parade, and what you have here is exposed men and women, but in the midst of that is children. Okay, so let me just
These people are naked. In front of kids. There's a little kid right here. Got people with their junk hanging out.
So the first thing I just want to say is America is vile, and the Lord hates an abominable thing, an abominable people, and the abominable laws that America pushed that allows for grown people to walk around exposed around children. Secondly, what I want to say is, as a parent, why are your children there at a pride parade?
Right.
That should be considered child abuse. That's no different than you taking a grown woman and she twerking and gyrating on a young boy.
Right.
Something that in our community we laugh at. We think it's funny, it's cute. Well, in their community, to the extreme, they think there's nothing wrong with that, but yet a man will go to jail for indecent exposure if you run down the street. They call it streaking, naked, exposed. You'll go to jail for that.
Right.
But under the guise of the alphabet community, they are protected and they are allowed to spew and live the life that they want to live with no cares about nobody else or how they feel about it. And I was just speaking about how they have more power than the power that Black people think they got with civil rights and you know, in fighting back and protesting. They have so much power that they can walk down the street half or butt naked and not have to worry about anything in front of children. You know, if you could give me a precept on what alternative lifestyles, please. Come on, just give me anything. Give me anything.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination.
That's the Lord created male and female. If a man, the Bible says, if you lie with a man like you would lie with a woman, you have committed an abomination. Another abomination also is to not be naked around your children.
Right.
I did a class on that. I probably need to do it again.
Right.
That's a perfect class to do, where you shouldn't be naked around your children. A lot of times we think it's okay because you're the same gender, and this society teaches that if you're the same gender, it's okay. Gender, I said gender. Gender, if you're the same gender, it's okay. What they teach, it's okay to be around the same gender. So like I'm getting tongue-tied, but it's okay to be around the same gender, say in a locker room or a gymnasium, and be exposed. Well, according to the Bible, you can't do that.
Right.
Canaan was cursed because of that, because he laughed at Noah. He saw his father's nakedness. So you should not be naked around your children, whether you're a mother with a daughter or a father with a son. You should not be naked around your children.
Right.
This also goes for the things we see in this world. We just watched a video where you have people that promote their sexual orientation in a way where they need to be exposed and they need to show the world how they feel in the inside, but they're doing it around children. It's one thing to do it around adults, and even that's unlawful, but it's a whole nother thing to do it around children who are now exposed to see things they shouldn't be seeing at a young age and exposed to stuff they shouldn't be experiencing sexually at a young age.
Right.
Okay. But that is America for you. Is that it on it?
No,
keep reading.
Oh, God. Both of them have committed an abomination.
Both of them have committed an abomination. If a man wants to be with a woman, be with a man, a woman wants to be with a woman, they have both committed an abomination. Okay. That's it on it?
No, there's more.
I'll go ahead.
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall surely be put to death. Go ahead.
Their blood shall be upon them.
And their blood shall be upon them. Meaning whatever comes from you living that lifestyle, whether you get a STD that is terminal, and it takes you out that way, or whether you're in a relationship that's volatile and hostile and you're always fighting and then somebody ends up getting unalive, this is a result of you doing something and living a life that is abominable. But America says that it's okay, it's real love. People should have a choice of who they love. You should respect people's pronouns, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not indecent exposure when you're just celebrating your pride in your sexual orientation. Okay. Let me get, we could drop that. We're going to drop that. I'm not going to even play the video again. If somebody sent me this video and I was just like, this is crazy. If a man was naked, I'll play it again for anybody that's just dropping in. I'll play it again.
People are naked. In front of kids. There's a little kid right here. Got people with their junk hanging out.
People are naked jumping around in front of kids. You see, we live in a society where children cannot be kids anymore. They can't be children anymore. Sexuality and sexual deviant ideologies are pushed down kids' throats today. I seen where they have it in the Disney sitcoms now. They have alternative lifestyles in all of these sitcoms. You understand? And they're just shoving it. Not only that, I know a lot of adults, a lot of us that are older, you could also agree that you feel like they're pushing it in your face. Like you can't even watch a show. You try to get into a damn show and you loving the show. The show is good. You into the episodes, and then they pull some relationship out of the blue, and you're like, why they even have to put that in there? It would have been good without it. It didn't even need that in it.
Right.
But you can tell that there's an effort to put the alternative lifestyles into the programming, into the commercials, into the brochures, into the whatever it is. I got a piece of mail for one of these eyeglass places, and it had 2 Caucasian men on there hugged up. And I said, what the hell did I have to do with buying some glasses? No, ripped it up. I don't want no glasses. I don't care how many specials you got. I don't need them. I do need some, but I'm not getting them from you.
Right.
Why do you have to put why does that need, why did you have to put that in there to sell anything? You didn't have to sell it. It kind of reminds me of, like how they put sex in everything. To sell a hamburger, they got a sexy woman. To sell a car, they have to have a sexy woman next to the car, take a picture of the car. Like they use these things to sell things and shove it down your throat. Right. So let's get now we're going to talk about the biblical origins and the history of the white race. Okay, let me remove this. Let's get what I asked for, Obadiah 1 and 6.
Come on. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
The Bible asks, how are the things of Esau searched out? It's asking a question, like, how are these things searched out? It's a mystery about their history. Go ahead.
How are his sudden things sought up?
I'll read that one more time.
Come on. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his sudden things sought up?
How are his it says his sudden?
Oh, so like his hidden things sought up.
Okay, read it again from the top.
Come on. The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
How are the things of Esau searched out? How do you find who the man is? How do you find who Esau is in today's world? They don't talk about their history. Talk about everybody else's history. They claim everyone else's history. So how do you find the things of his people, of Esau? Go ahead.
How are his hidden things sought up?
How are his hidden things sought up? How do you find the origin of these people? How do you find their humble beginnings? Where do you look? What are the clues that you're supposed to be searching for? Well, from the biblical perspective and a historical perspective, we're going to go into the things of Esau, who you know today as the white race, the father or the progenitor of the white race. Okay, right. Give me Genesis 25 and 21.
The book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife.
The Bible says that Isaac went and prayed to the Lord for his wife. Why? Keep reading.
Because she was barren.
Because she was barren, because she could not have any children. So he went and prayed to the Lord to see what was going on, to ask that to entreat him, to ask him to grant her the ability to have children. Go ahead.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
And Rebekah conceived. Go ahead.
Verse 22, and the children struggled together within her.
The Bible says that she had 2 children in her belly, and they struggled together within her. Go ahead.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord.
And she wanted to know why was her stomach moving like that? Why was these 2 children in her belly wrestling and tussling with each other? So she went to go, not ask the Lord, but ask the prophet, a man of God. She wants to know what was going on. Go ahead.
Verse 23, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
The Lord said that 2 nations were in her womb. This is not ordinary. Usually when a nation is pregnant, whether it be with 1 child or two children, that's 1 nation, not 2 nations. Read that part again of the precept.
Come on. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations are in thy womb. Go ahead.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner of people shall be separated from your bowels. So come from you. 2 manner, meaning these people will be 2 different types of people. 2 manners, not the same manner, but 2 different types of people. And we're not talking about on an individual level. We're talking about a nation. It said what when it said 2?
2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations. This is not talking about 2 people. Yeah, these are 2 babies that are being born, but they represent 2 nations, and they would be a different manner of people. Go ahead.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other. And the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elder, the one is going to be stronger than the other. And the elder, the oldest, is going to serve the youngest. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment.
Now, this first child that came out was red all over like a hairy garment. And this is the first time you see in the Bible where somebody is being described. Their color is actually being described. Esau, right? His color is being described. And the reason why his color is being described is because he didn't look like everybody else that came before him. Go ahead.
And they called his name Esau.
They called his name Esau.
Verse 26. And after
and I
that,
believe Esau's name means wasted away is he. Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob.
And Jacob came after Esau, and he took hold of his heel. And he was the younger. But remember the prophecy, the eldest shall serve the youngest.
Right.
Go ahead.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Esau was an outdoorsman. Esau's characteristics was to stay outside. You know how they say we outside? Well, Esau was outside. He was outside hunting, what they call it when you camping, doing all of those things that people do outside, sitting around, waiting on prey to come, being quiet, making animal sounds to lure prey in. He was a man of the field. Go ahead.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
I'm sorry. We'll read that one more time from the top.
And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
Now, Jacob was a plain man. He was a man that hung around the house. He was a man that his life wasn't go, go, go. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to move. I need to go hunt this. His life was, I'm about to put these ribs on the grill. I'm about to sit down, chill, watch the kids play. Then later on, I'll go till the ground. He was a man that was a plain, simple man, simple living, simple life. Kick back, chill. Those are the characteristics, different characteristics. One was a hunter. One was always on the move. One was in a hurry. And the other one was a plain man that was kind of kick back, chill, and just hung around the house. Did housework. Go ahead.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
And Isaac loved Esau, right? Their father, Isaac, he loved Esau. Go ahead.
But Rebekah loved Jacob.
But Rebekah loved Jacob. Go ahead. What verse is that?
That was the end of verse 28. We're in verse 29 now.
Let me hear it.
And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
So Jacob was cooking. He was cooking a bowl of pottage. They call it red stew. I know in some countries the red stew is simply just meats, onions, and tomatoes. A lot of tomatoes, and it's a red stew. And they throw it over a bed of rice. Read that from the top.
Come on. Verse 29. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And verse 30, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint.
So Esau came from the field super hungry. He was hunting, but he must have not caught nothing, you know. And he came back saying he was faint and he was hungry. And I want you to where we at?
Verse 30.
Okay, go ahead.
Come on, God. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Thereof was his name called Edom. Verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
So Jacob said, sell me your birthright. Now, what is the birthright? Alexa, what is a birthright?
A birthright is a privilege that is given to someone when they are born. It is a right that comes from being born into a certain family or community. Examples of birthrights include the right to inherit property, the right to inherit a title, or the right to inherit a legacy.
Alexa, stop. I'm said Alexa. Is it Alexa?
Come.
Oh, I don't know why I want to say the other. What's the other one name? Siri. I don't know. But an inheritance, something passed down, a name, that's your birthright. So Jacob said, sell me your birthright. You want to eat some of my pottage? Sell me your birthright. Remember, Esau is the firstborn, so he has the birthright. He's going to get the first of everything. Whatever his father's going to pass down, he's going to get the best of it. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 32. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
He said, man, I'm at the point to die. He said, behold, man, he said, look, man, I'm about to die. This birthright, what does this? It don't mean nothing to me. He looked at his birthright like it was nothing. Like we live in a society where we dream that in the Black and Hispanic community, we dream that we had a father that could pass on land and cattle. You know what I'm saying? Like a good inheritance. We hear about that thing in in the other communities, and you have Black people that talk about generational wealth. Well, his generational wealth that was going to be passed down to him, he said, what is that? That don't mean nothing. What is the family name? That's nothing to me. I'll sell it to you. Just give me something to eat. Go ahead.
Verse 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
So he swore, Jacob said, swear to me. Take an oath and swear to me this day. And he swore to him. He took an oath and said, this is your birthright. Now give me some of that red stew. Give me some of that red pot. That's whatever you cooking. Go ahead.
Verse 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
The Bible says that Esau despised his birthright. Now give me Hebrews 12 and 16. Just so this is a precept. So if you're taking notes, this is a precept to what we just read.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornication or profane.
Or slow down, read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornication or profane person.
Fornicator.
Fornicator.
I'll read it from the top again.
Come on. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau.
Fornicator or profane person as Esau. Go ahead.
Who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
It said for one morsel of meat, he sold his birthright. For a plate of food, he sold his inheritance. He gave away his inheritance just because he was hungry. He was in haste. What didn't Jacob say he wasn't done cooking? Let's go back. Let's see if he was done. But it was in haste. I don't think Jacob was even done cooking, but he sold his birthright for a morsel of meat, for some food. He gave away his inheritance, all because he was just hungry. Just in a moment, he was hungry. No, but he was in a rush. He was in a hurry, and because he was in a hurry, he sold his birthright. Said, "The hell with that." The Bible says he despised his birthright. All right, that's the precept to learn. Our warrior says, no, he wasn't. La, sir, he wasn't done cooking. That's what I thought. He wasn't done cooking. You know what I'm saying? He was not done cooking. And Esau was in a rush. He's a man of the field. Remember, think about how this world moves. This world goes like this. Go, 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 go. Get up, go to work, go to school, get it together. Go, 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 go to sleep, get back up, go. You know what I mean? It's a rush. It's a constant rush. And he was in a rush.
Right.
He said he was so much in a rush that he said, you know what? For a plate of food, my inheritance means nothing to me. The Bible calls him profane, a profane person. Give me Genesis 27 and 39 so we can get to the blessing of Esau. Okay, what he was blessed with. And for time's sake, we're going to skip over the blessing. So Jacob supplanted Esau because Rebekah wanted Jacob to be blessed, and the Lord wanted that. Rebekah made, she killed a lamb, 2 lambs or something, and put on the clothing of the lamb so that when his father would touch him, he would think it was Esau because Esau was hairy. Anyway, he supplanted and he got the blessing that was supposed to go to Esau. And then now Esau comes in and he's crying because Jacob has gotten a blessing. And now Isaac is going to give Esau his blessing. That's where we're at. So that's Genesis 27 and 39.
The book of Genesis, chapter 27, verse 39.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Said, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Meaning that your dwelling where you stay will be the fatness of the earth. You know, from the Bible, from the slang, the fatness is like the goodness. In this case, living in good places.
Right.
Living in good places. The fatness of the earth. The best places in the earth. Go ahead.
And of the dew of heaven from above.
Uh-huh.
Verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live.
And by thy sword shall thou live. So this is a distinction, or this is a characteristic that Esau would have. He would live in the best places. He would have the dew of heaven. That blessing also went to Jacob, but the specific ones is living and dwelling in the best places, and he will live by the sword. He will live by warfare, by, in modern times, military prowess, military might. He would fight his way through the world. Okay. Is there anything else on that? What verse are we on? That was all 39? Okay, you could drop that. Let's get so we got an idea for the future blessing of Esau. He will live in the best places on earth, and he will rule with the sword. Let's get Genesis 36 and 8. And with that, we'll get that's where we'll get the after you read that, we'll get it out of the Zondervan.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 36, verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. Mount Seir is a mountainous. Well, we're going to read it out the Zondervan. I gave y'all a picture. I must have deleted it, but I gave y'all a picture. That was probably like 2 weeks ago, where I showed Petra, where one of the homelands of the Edomites, where it's carved out of the rock, and it resembles it has the pillars that resemble the White House. But in this region, you can only go in one way. And they said that the way it's a crevice in the rock that you got to walk through, like high walls. And they say it's so small that a military of thousands of people could be fought off with just 12 people, because it's only one entrance, and it's a very small entrance, right? We're going to get to that also. But let's get Mount Seir and the Zondervan.
This is Seir, or Mount Seir, out of the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. It says the land of Seir and Mount Seir are alternate names for the region occupied by the descendants of Edom or Esau. Originally called the land of Seir. It was later called Edom. It is a mountainous and extremely rugged country.
It is a what?
a mountainous and extremely rugged country.
It is a mountainous and extremely rugged country. You remember that, because these are also this is also historical, and this is biblical characteristics of the type of places that Esau desired to be in, even in today's time. When you look at the mountainous areas of the land, whatever city you live in, if you I know some states don't have mountains, but the hills, you know, usually these are places where Caucasians gather, and they're considered the best places in this society, and they choose to live there. So let's get Numbers 20 and 14. Let me just give some shout outs. I see a lot of brothers and sisters. Let me just shout y'all while these brothers get that. Daughter of a king, Shalom, says Sister Baraka Nawa, Shalom. Princess Nakaf, Shalom. That Gamer Honesty 06, Shalom, says Black Dazzle, Shalom, says Kev, Shalom, brother. I Warrior, Shalom. Most High in Christ, brother. Cloud 25, Shalom. Quadash, Ya Allah, Shalom, Lord in Christ. Magan Amaf, Shalom, Lord in Christ. And Olivia Arnold, Shalom, Lord in Christ. Oh, my main man Regalia in the house. Cloud 25. Officer Regalia Yahweh up in here. Shalom, Lord in Christ. All right. Let's get it.
The book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 14.
Yeah.
And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 15.
Go back. Ooh, that's a good. That reminds me. Go back where he says, "Thy brother." I gotta remember that. We're gonna get. Go ahead. I gotta remember to write that one down.
Come.
Because that's a precept they love to bring out, and we'll get to that later. Deuteronomy 23 and 7.
The book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 14. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom. Thus saith thy brother Israel.
So for biblical historical sake, the Edomites actually had kings set up before Israel ever had a king. So you see, at the time of Moses, the Edomites already had kings. Read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of Numbers, chapter 20, verse 14. And Moses sent messengers from Kadesh unto the king of Edom.
Mm-hmm.
Thus saith thy brother Israel, thou knowest all the travail that hath befallen us, how our fathers went down into Egypt, and we have dwelt in Egypt a long time,
mm-hmm.
and the Egyptians vexed us and our fathers.
Right. So Moses sent to the king of Edom and said, he called him brother. And he said, you know how we just came out of Egypt and all of the things that we went through and how they vexed us. And he's going to ask him something. Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 16. And when we cried unto the Lord, he heard our voice and sent an angel and hath brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold.
So Moses is giving this testimony. Remember, we didn't go over that. But after Esau got his blessing, he said, the days are coming when my father is going to die. And he said, I'm going to put Jacob to death. So he hated Jacob. You know what I'm saying? Did I say Jacob? Yeah, he hated Jacob. Esau hated his brother. He wanted to put him to death. He despised him. And now we're seeing that now down the line, Moses is coming. They done got out of the captivity, and he's telling them, listen, you see, this is all the things we done been through in Egypt. Even the angel of God came and delivered us. And then you're going to see the reaction. Well, he's going to ask them, can they pass through the land? And you'll see the reaction of the Edomites. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 16, and we cried unto the Lord, and he heard our voice, and sent an angel, and hath brought us forth out of Egypt. And behold, we are in Kadesh, a city in the uttermost of thy border. Verse 17, let us pass, I pray thee, through thy country. We will not pass through the fields or through the vineyards, neither will we drink of the water of the wells.
So Moses said, can we pass through your country? We won't take of your vineyards, and we won't drink any water. We just want to pass through. Go ahead.
We will go by the king's highway. We will not turn into the right hand nor to the left. until we have passed thy borders.
So he said, we won't turn to the right or to the left. We'll just go down the king's highway until we're up out of your land. Go ahead.
Verse 18, and Edom said unto him,
Now, this is what the Edomite said, the king. Go ahead.
thou shalt not pass by me,
Mhm.
lest I come out against thee with a sword.
He said, you're not coming through my land. And if you do, I'm going to come out against you with the sword. We're going to come out for battle. Go ahead.
Verse 19, and the children of Israel said unto him, we will go by thy highway, and if I and my cattle drink of thy water, then I will pay for it. I will only, without doing anything else, go through on my feet.
So once again, the Israelites basically said, we will go through your land. If our cattle drink anything, whatever our animals do, we'll pay for it. We'll pay you for it. We just want to get through. Go ahead.
Verse 20, and he said, thou shalt not go through.
He said, nah, no, the hell you ain't. You're not coming through my land. Go ahead.
And Edom came out against him with much people and with a strong hand.
And Edom came out. He came out bold with all his soldiers, and to make sure that they wasn't going to go through their land. Go ahead.
Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his border. Wherefore Israel turned away from him. And the children of Israel, even the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came unto Mount Hor.
Okay, is that it? What verse is that?
That was the end of verse 22.
Verse 22. Okay, yeah. So Israel, the Edomite said that Israel, you cannot come through. Now, peep this. Moses and them was still looking at it like, we're brothers.
Right.
The Edomites was like, nah, you ain't my brother. You ain't coming through my land. And if you try to come through my land, it's gonna be problems. So they refused him. Give me 1 Samuel 14 and 47, right? So what I'm going through, we're going through some biblical history of the Edomites up until today. We're going to just, breeze through it. And then I'll go into some characteristics of the Edomites, some precepts of the characteristics of the Edomites, and also how the Most High views the Edomites.
Right.
Okay. And of course, by bringing all these things out, you'll start to see the vision and realize who they are today in the earth. Go ahead.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 14, verse 47. So Saul took the kingdom over Israel and fought against all his enemies on every side.
So Saul fought against all his enemies. Go ahead, King Saul.
Against Moab and against the children of Ammon.
Against Moab, the children of Ammon, the Chinese, modern day Chinese and Japanese. They didn't look how they look today. They were a little more robust and they were melanated, but this is the seed of those people. Go ahead.
And against Edom.
And against who?
And against Edom.
And against Edom. Go ahead.
And against the kings of Zobah. And against the Philistines, and whithersoever he turned himself, he vexed them.
Whatever he did, he vexed all of the enemies around Israel. But the point I want to make is that Saul brought the Edomites into subjection. Okay, we were always against one another. Give me 1 Chronicles 18 and 11. Now this is King David. What he did with the Edomites.
(18 and
11). 1 Chronicles 18 and 11. Remember in Psalms, David said, was Psalms 137? David said, remember Edom. Lord, he prayed and said, remember Edom. Don't forget about them. Meaning they need to get their just due for what they have done to God's chosen people. Go ahead.
Right. The book of 1 Chronicles chapter 18, verse 11. Them also King David dedicated unto the Lord with the silver and the gold that he brought from all these nations, from Edom and from Moab and from the children of Ammon.
So King David dedicated all of these spoils of war that he brought from who?
From Edom.
From Edom.
And from Moab.
From Moab.
And from the children of Ammon.
Children of Ammon. Go ahead.
And from the Philistines. And from Amalek.
And from Amalek. Keep reading.
Come on. Verse 12.
Okay, go ahead.
Moreover, Abishai, the son of Zariah, slew of the Edomites in the valley of Salt 18,000.
So Abishai, he slew 18,000 Edomites under King David. Your forefathers wasn't playing.
Right.
They was not playing. Go ahead.
Verse 13, and he put garrisons in Edom.
And King David put garrisons in Edom, meaning a garrison is like a checkpoint on a border. That's what a garrison is. So you had garrisons. Go ahead. What verse are you on?
In the middle, 13.
Okay, go ahead.
And all the Edomites became David's servants.
All the Edomites became who?
David's servants.
The Edomites became King David's servants. They were subjected to Israel. They were tributaries. They paid tribute to Israel. This happened all throughout history where you had nations, once they ruled over people, they would make them tributaries. They would make you have to pay tribute. So every year or whatever the time span, you have to come and bring your, the best things of your country, the best exports, the gold, the silver, spices, linens, cloths, whatever, and pay tribute like a tax. You can drop that. Is there any more on that?
Come on.
Verse 14?
No, still a little bit of verse 13 left.
Okay, go ahead.
Thus the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went.
The Lord preserved King David wherever he went. So that's just the history showing you that at one time, because we'll also get to that when Edom, we're going to get to that right now, where the Edomites revolted down the line. They were always up under Israel, but then they revolted. We'll also go into some history of when Esau got the yoke up off his neck. We just read that in the prophecy, right? Didn't we read that in the Genesis, in the prophecy about Esau being will break the yoke?
No, we didn't read that far down.
We did not. Okay, we'll get to it when we go back. Let's get 2 Kings 8 and 20. This is when Edom revolted under the kings of Judah. They said, you know what? I'm not doing this no more. We're not going to be up under you anymore. Let me see this. Okay.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 8, verse 20. In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves.
So the Edomites revolted. Okay, so that's Genesis 20. That's Genesis 27 and 4. We'll get to that soon. But read it again.
Come on. The book of 2 Kings, chapter 8, verse 20. In his days, Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah and made a king over themselves. Verse 21.
So the Edomites revolted because they were tributaries under the Judites. And then they said, you know what? We're going to make a king to ourselves and we're going to fight back. Go ahead.
Verse 21. So Joram went over to Zer and all his chariots with him. And he rose by night and smote the Edomites with which come.
Wait, hold that 1 second. So like it. Let me see. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead now.
Come on. Verse 21. So Joram went over to Zer and all his chariots with him. And he rose by night and smote the Edomites.
Like, no, what verse we on? You passed 22?
No, we on. This is the middle, 21.
Okay, go ahead.
And he rose by night and smote the Edomites which compassed him about.
So he went out and he smote all of these Edomites around him. Go ahead.
And the captains of the chariots and the people fled into their tents.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 22. Yet Edom revolted from under the hand of Judah unto this day.
So until it says unto this day, as it was written, Edom had revolted from under the hand of Judah. Go ahead.
Then Libnah revolted at the same time.
Which this was Israelites under the rule that revolted. This was like a sect of Levites that also revolted, kind of like a civil war thing. So at one side, you had the Edomites that revolted from under the kings of Judah, but then you had this whole city full of a sect of Levites that revolted also. Okay, you could drop that. The point is that the Edomites revolted, and they were not under the rule of Judah anymore. Okay, let me get First Maccabees 5:1. First Maccabees 5:1. First Maccabees. We'll talk about this. Will be one of the first time. There's another instance. Where's the instance? Brothers listening in. Where's the instance? I don't know if y'all notice about where in the Bible where someone converted. It's an instance where someone converted, and it's not the Ethiopian. Maybe somebody can help me out with that. Go ahead.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 5, verse 1. Now, when the nations round about heard that the altar was built and the sanctuary renewed as before, it displeased them very much. Wherefore, verse 2. Wherefore they thought to destroy the generation of Jacob that was among them, and thereupon they began to slay and destroy the people.
So when the nations around, when they heard that the temple was rebuilt and restored, they got angry and started to try to kill Judites, kill the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 3. Then Judas fought against the children of Esau.
Then Judas Maccabeus, go ahead.
Fought against the children of Esau
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Fought against the children of Esau in Idumea at Arabatime.
So he fought against the children of Esau in Idumea. Idumea is the Greek word for Edom. It's the Greek. It's just a Greek word. It means Edomites, Edom, nation of Edom, Esau. It's just a Greek word for it. So Judas Maccabeus battled these Edomites. Go ahead.
Okay.
What verse we on?
In the middle of verse 3.
Okay.
Because they besieged Israel, and he gave them a great overthrow and abated their courage and took their spoils.
So he gave them a great overthrow and abated their courage. He defeated the Edomites, Judas Maccabeus, and he took their spoils, meaning he took everything. You know, when you win a battle, you take what's left, meaning horses, swords, and this time it'll be missiles and guns. You defeat a military, you take the spoils,
right?
You know, gold, silver, money. So we're gonna go into a little history. Let me see. Let's get what I want. So we're going to go in the book of Josephus, okay? And we're going to talk about Judas Maccabeus. It's already marked for you. So this is the book of Josephus, brothers and sisters, right? The works of Josephus. I already put it up. I think they can see it. They know what it is. Most brothers and sisters know the book of Josephus, right? So this is John Hyrcanus. This is the nephew to Judas Maccabeus. He was born in 164 BC and died in 104 BC. Now, this is another instance of what we just read of the Edomites not only being defeated, but a forced conversion. Okay. When we talk about a conversion, this is like what you see with so-called Jewish people today. It's a conversion. They're not Israelites. They're just following the law, statute, and command. Not even following that, just following what you would call Judaism.
Right.
Okay. Now, give me what's highlighted.
Come on. This is page 352, chapter 9 out of the book, The Works of Josephus. Hyrcanus took also Dora and Marissa, cities of Idumea.
Cities of what?
Idumea.
Cities of the Edomites. Idumea. Go ahead.
And subdued all the Idumeans and permitted them to stay in that country. if they were circumcised, like if they would circumcise their genitals and make use of the laws of the Jews.
So he subdued these Idumean cities, and he said they can stay if they get circumcised. They could stay in the city. They didn't have to go if they get circumcised and start to follow the customs of the Jews. Go ahead.
And they were also desirous of living. Desirous of living in the country of their forefathers, that they submitted to the use of circumcision.
Desirous.
Desirous of living in the country of their forefathers.
So they were desirous. They were so desirous of still living in these lands that they did what?
That they submitted to the use of circumcision.
That they submitted to the use of circumcision. Go ahead.
And the rest of the Jewish ways of living.
And the rest of the Jewish ways of living. This is a precursor to a convert, to your Ashkenazium, your Khazarian people, the people today that hail from Eastern Europe, that say that they are God's chosen people, that come from Poland and Russia and Czechoslovakia and Ukraine, and who are now in Israel. That is your precursor to how these types of people came about. Okay. You could drop that. That is just some history, right, of what was going on with the Edomites. Even back then, they had converted and were one more. We got one more. Oh, sorry. We got a few more. They had converted. Okay, so this one, take that. I'll tell you the pages. So they had converted to following the ways of the Israelites, and this type of thing spread throughout, and that's why you have what you have today in the earth, where you have many groups. You have Ethiopians that say that they are the real Jews. You have all types of people claiming to be the Israelites. Okay. But we're remembering about Edom, the Edomites. Okay. Now we want to get to, let me see. We're going to go into this book. This book is called The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite. 1853 is dated. And give me page 9. What I got highlighted. Come on.
So you want this first, this term right here?
Read it for me.
Come on. This is page 9 out of the Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite.
Mm-hmm.
It says Jewish Targums, Aramaic translation of Hebrew Bible, or the Jewish Talmud. The Romans came from Esau, who was Edom, and Italy is the Idumea, Rome, the Bozrah of the Hebrew prophets.
So the rabbis, the old rabbis believed, and without no question, that Italy or Rome is Idumea, is the Edomites. They put 2 and 2 together and said, these are the Edomites.
Right.
You understand? Now give me page, and we're kind of going backwards when we talk about their nature. Okay, what we read about ruling with the sword. Let's get page 140. I'm sorry, not 140. Give me we'll drop that for right now. We'll get this book. Let's get this book. Now this book is called Chosen People from the Caucasus. Okay, Chosen People from the Caucasus. And we'll get that. And this is just I want page 140. This is just a description. Now, remember, Esau came out red and hairy with hair all over, like a hairy garment. That was a characteristic. One of the characteristics was he was red. Now, I want you to understand that he wasn't red like how they say, they call, they used to call Native Indians redskins.
Right.
Not like that. This red is your blood shows through your skin. You have no pigmentation. And remember, like a pinkish color is still red. It's a derivative of red.
Right.
Just like brown is a derivative of copper or, bronze. Pink is a derivative of red. So you got to keep that in mind. Now, that was a characteristic. Their blood showed forth through their skin. They were called red when they were born, and they were hairy. Remember how Jacob was able to trick his father, or deceive. Now I ain't gonna say deceive, but trick his father. Is he had lamb's wool on, lamb skin, so he was hairy like Esau, so he could fool his father because Esau was hairy.
Right.
And so let's read that.
This is page 140 out of the book Chosen People from the Caucasus.
Mm-hmm.
The simplest explanation is that these hairy ones were a fairly numerous, embarrassing, and unwelcome, and unwelcome part of Israel.
So now what they're saying here is that the Edomites were a part of Israel, but they were different.
Right.
They called them the hairy ones, and they were unwelcome. Go ahead.
Come on. Embarrassing and unwelcome part of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
A strongly Neanderthal-like group of relatives.
A strongly what?
Neanderthal-like group of relatives.
The Edomites were a strongly Neanderthal group of relatives to the Israelites. They were embarrassing to them. Now we've seen the relationship that they had when Moses wanted to pass through. We've seen the relationship where King Saul, King David, Joash, Joash of Judah, who is it? John Hyrcanus, Shalom, Lord of Christ, Judas Maccabees, all of them treated them a certain kind of way. All the Israelites treated them as tributaries. They didn't treat them like brothers after a certain time,
Right.
And there was like a disconnect between the relationship with the Edomites and the Israelites. Go ahead.
Come on. A strongly Neanderthal-like group of relatives, which was consistently denied representation and who were more or less ostracized, who tried continually and unsuccessfully to assert their rights while following the more normal-looking, quote-unquote, Israelites as pathetic and angry camp followers.
So it made a difference. It said they were Neanderthal-like, and the Israelites were normal-looking people. And so what you got to understand is that when Esau went into Mount Seir, he removed the Horites. The Horites were what you would call a Neanderthal type of people. Troglodytes is what is the scientific word for it. And so anytime, if you just think about history, whenever the so-called Caucasian race has colonized anywhere, they have also mixed with people. They've mixed with people everywhere they went and colonized and raped, robbed, and murdered. And that's how they are able to disguise who they really are. And you see, this is how we are able, what we read in Obadiah 1:6, how are the things of Esau sought out? This is how we're seeking out the truth about his history and who he really is.
Right.
Okay, you could drop that. Yeah, let me see. Let's get Daniel 2 and 40, I believe. Daniel 2 and 40. Remember, the Idumea is Rome. The Roman Empire was an Edomite empire.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
Now, let me give you the precept. This is the precept, the vision of Daniel that he's telling to the king of the statue, the man made of different type of elements. And we get down to the legs. Now, Officer Thabawan has an excellent breakdown on this actual vision. If you go on Hollywood Israelites, just go search, put in the search bar, Daniel's prophecy, and then go ahead and watch that. And he breaks it all the way down. Okay. Right. But keep going.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2, verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
So this fourth kingdom, which was the legs, which made out of iron, was Rome, the Roman Empire. And this empire broke all other empires and was a strong empire. And this empire ruled with the sword. Now let's get back to the book. Yes, call it out, and let's get page 35. We'll go to 35 first, and then we'll go to 38.
This is page 35 out of the book, The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite, 1853. It says, the country was fruitful before, Mount Seir by force and violence by destroying and expelling from thence the Horites, the former inhabitants.
Let me see if I can pull up a what Horites look like for y'all. Now, we just read what it just said is that, well, it tells you that in the precepts also. But the Edomites, they expelled the Horites who were originally living in the land of Seir, Mount Seir. Let's see if they got any images that I can pull up. Horites were like a Neanderthal type people. And these are the people that the Edomites pushed out of Mount Seir, took it over. Okay. Let's get back to it. I can't find anything. When you look up Horite, it'll take you to, I think it'll take you to troglodyte.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll take you to troglodyte. So it is. So when we talk about Neanderthal, you have to recollect everything you've seen your whole life. You've seen Neanderthals presented as who? As black people? Nah, you've seen Neanderthals presented as cavemen.
Right.
Tarzan, Fred Flintstone. I mean, the list goes on, but it's never black and Hispanic people that's represented as Neanderthals or people, you know, in the caves, banging each other in the head with rocks, pulling their women by the hair with clubs. It's always a certain group of people,
right?
You know, and it's a reason for that. It's a play on their original origins, but not actually saying it. Okay, let me hear that.
This is page 38 out of the same book, The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomite, 1853.
Uh-huh.
Says cold or heat, and lastly, he affirms that the plains below Alba, the central city of the Latins, were beautiful to the eye, rich in the
Wait, where are we at?
Page 38.
Okay, give me that.
Come on. Colder heat, and lastly, he affirms that the plains below Alba, the central city of the Latins, were beautiful to the eye, rich in the produce of all sorts of fruits, and in no degree inferior to the other parts of Italy.
I think that's not what I want. Let me see.
Wait, this part?
Yeah, let me see. Is it circled?
Come on, it's circled in pen. No, this was a
I'm sorry, with the pen.
It says, and by the sword shalt thou live.
Mm-hmm.
The Romans were perhaps the very people of whom it might most justly predicted that they got their living by the sword. War, said the elder Cato, is the business of the Roman people, as the Romans themselves relate the Mithridates that they were nourished by the dogs of a wolf. Mm-hmm. So all that the people have disposition of wolves, never to be satiated with blood and power, greedy and hungry after riches and malicious.
So this is the characteristics of the Romans. They were by far people. They were not peaceful people. They were people who had origin story that they started from the suckling of wolves. Remus and Romulus. That's the story of the beginning of Rome. I believe Remus died and Romulus is the founder of Rome. But it's a wolf. They have a wolf as a symbol, and these two suckled from the wolf. And so Rome rose to power by the sword and crushed other kingdoms. And they were never satiated with blood. The blood wasn't enough for them to keep gobbling up land and taking land. And so the Roman Empire turned into what you know today as the American Empire. Well, America is an extension of the Roman Empire. America was started from Europe, and all of the kingdoms in modern Europe come out of the breakup of the Roman Empire.
Right.
So it's no mystery who these people are, according to biblical history and world history. Because I didn't just we didn't just open up the Bible, we went into books, right? Let me see if we got one more. Let me see. No, that's it on that. After this, what I want you to grab is give me Deuteronomy. We'll talk about some characteristics. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 49. But we went into books. That's what we did. We went into the history, their history, what they say. Now, there's even more history. You have King Joseph. King Joseph was the king of the Jewish people. And he wrote letters to the Israelite priests that were in Spain, and they corresponded because these Israelite priests had never heard of some king in this far away country in Europe. And so this King Joseph of the Khazars, he greeted them, and then he broke down his line, and he said he was from Japhet. That's what he said he was from, but we know that the Khazars are not from Japhet. But whether he said he was from Japhet or he said he was from the Khazars, it only proves that they are not Israelites.
Right.
And they are like his father was, I believe, Ashkenaz, who was a grandson of Esau. Right? Somebody can, brother, if a brother remember the breakdown, I believe Ashkenaz was a grandson of Esau. Okay. But the point is that when you look at the Edomites in the Bible, they are actually who you know today as the Caucasian, the white race.
Right.
The Edomites, that's who they are. Okay. And throughout history, they have been represented, but they disguise their origin so well by conquering people and then taking on those same identities. So you will never know that the ancient Greeks were not Caucasian people. The ancient Greeks were melanated Japhites.
Right.
They were Japhetic people. You would never know that the Romans originally were a mixture of different people, but they were not. Caucasian people were not just Romans. Okay, they intermingled with a lot of people. You would not know that the Ptolemies, the Greeks, the Ptolemies, that line of families were what you would call today mulatto. Alexander the Greek or the Great was a mulatto. You would never know that, you know. You would think that because they represent themselves in these places that that's who they were. In reality, they were people who lived in the caves, who disguised themselves as other people, who went to different nations and how can you say, what is the word? Infiltrated nations. They infiltrated the Greeks through the Sabines. The Sabines, if you look up the Sabines, what they did was they came and stole women from the Greeks. And they stole the women, snatched them, married them, and then over a process of time, the family members would want to see their sisters and family members again. So they made a truce. And so that's how they integrated into the Greeks, by stealing wives. So they are very conniving in how they were able to get through history. And nobody could, if you asked a Caucasian person today, they couldn't tell you their real history. They would say they Greek or they are from Italy or they're Irish, but that's not their real history.
Right.
That's a history of another people that they believe that it is theirs. It's no different than the people in Israel today. They believe that they are God's chosen people. They're claiming the identity of niggas, and they don't even know it. You know, same with the Arabs today in the Northern Africa and Egypt. They claim to be Egyptians, but their forefathers are Ottoman Turks that invaded a long time ago, and they've been there for so long. They believe that they are Egyptians now. You know, let's get what I asked for.
28 and 49 Deuteronomy.
Yes.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49.
Uh-huh.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth.
Now, this was a prophecy that the Lord gave through Moses to the children of Israel of what would happen if they did not keep the law, statute, and commandments. And what would happen to them would be that a nation would come from the ends of the earth. Keep reading.
as swift as the eagle flieth.
Now, in this precept, which was written 4,000 years ago, it is giving you a prophecy, and it is giving you a breakdown. Now, when black people, you hear black people say, I don't read that Bible. That Bible was created by the white man. The white man wrote the Bible. You mean to tell me that the white man is better than you? The white man can tell the future? Because what we're talking about right here was written 4,000 years ago, 5,000+ years ago, and it's exact on point at what happened in history about 400 years ago.
Right.
Read that from the top again.
Come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
The Lord said a nation will come against you from far. You can use this for the time that they was living in, or you can use this 2,000 years later. You can also use this 4,000 years. You can use it for today, and you can use it for 400 years ago, where with the transatlantic slave trade. You can use it for the Spanish conquistadors coming to Mexico, to central Mexico and conquering, to the Yucatan Peninsula and conquering. You can use it for the Europeans that came here and killed 77 million Native American Indians. Go ahead.
Okay. From the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth.
Now, these people, it's telling you a symbol. It's giving you a symbol. As swift as the eagle flieth. It's not talking about just how fast they're coming. It's also giving you a symbol, the eagle. What nations have the symbol of the eagle? Many European nations have the symbol of the eagle.
Right.
The most importantly, the one that we're talking about right now is America,
right,
as a symbol of the eagle. Spain, Germany. It's so many places that have the symbol of the European nations that have a symbol of an eagle. Go ahead.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
The nation, you would not understand their tongue. You wouldn't understand their language. Why? Because you spoke some type of form of Hebrew. When you came from West Africa, you spoke some form, some bastardized form of Hebrew, or some mixture of Aramaic, or even Spanish. Black people in Timbuktu that speak Spanish. You know why? Because they came from the Spanish expulsion of the Jews. When the Jews got kicked out of Spain, where did they go? They went into the interiors of Africa. So you have many of them that live in Timbuktu that not only speak Aramaic, they speak Hebrew and they speak Spanish because they were actually there. Their ancestors come from there, right? Go ahead.
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance.
This nation, it would have fierce countenance. This nation would be, their countenance, their look would be fierce. Go ahead.
Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
They would not regard the person of the old or show favor to the young. Do they do that today? No, they don't show favor to the old. They don't show favor to the young. They don't show favor to the poor. They show favor to who they love. They don't regard your ancestors. When our ancestors was in the plantation, they would have little boys and girls pulling sacks too, filling it up with cotton. There's pictures of Mexican kids picking cotton in Arizona. Black and white pictures. They don't care. They don't care about your children. They don't care about your old. Go ahead.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle, and also and the fruit of thy land.
Right.
Until thou be destroyed.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land. He shall take all of your resources. The Native American Indians made so many pledges with the white man. And he didn't honor none of them, to the point where they said, pale face speaks with a forked tongue. We can't believe you. I don't trust a pale man, because they took all of their land that they could grow crops on and gave them land they couldn't grow crops on. You call them reservations today. So that's some of the characteristics of the white man. That's how we know who he is today.
Right.
Like when we're out on the corners, we're not just screaming and yelling because, we're angry black man and we just, are full of hate, and we have all of this hate and bigotry and prejudice towards white folks. It's not that. It has nothing to do with that. White people could be blue. They could be green and orange. It still wouldn't matter. We'll still treat it the same way.
Right.
Because it's about the actions and it's about who they are. Okay. Let's give me Job 30:8. Speed it up. Another precept I have for you is Ecclesiastes. We're not going to read that. Ecclesiastes 1:15. You can't make crooked what the Lord has made straight.
Right.
These people were designed to be crooked. And so there is no praying, no getting along. It will always be that way until the Lord comes and makes it straight.
Right.
Because he made them crooked. Okay. Another one is, I said Hebrews 12:16, profane like Esau. Zechariah 11:5. That's one of those precepts many brothers know. Who slay their possessors and hold themselves not guilty. Okay. Let me see. Yeah. So let's get that. Let's get that one I asked for.
The book of Job, chapter 30, verse 8. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth.
Now, Job said they were children of fools, children of base men. Go ahead.
And now am I their song.
Now, you're talking about a people that were a base people. You're talking about a people that were like cave people. And now we are their song. Go ahead. Now we are their. Go ahead. Read it.
And now am I their song. Yea, I am their byword.
I am their byword. I am their spick, nigga, darky, redskin. I am their byword. Go ahead.
Verse 10, they abhor me.
They hate me. Go ahead.
They flee far from me.
They flee far from me.
And spare not the spit in my face.
And spare not the spit in my face. You can drop that. Talking about that, you can bottle that up as racial hatred for black and brown people coming from a particular group of people. Let's get let's see. Now let's get into how God feels about them. Give me Malachi 1 and 2. Well, let's get Romans 9 and 13 because Malachi basically says the same thing as it is written. So when you're reading Romans 9 and 13, as it is written, that it's written in Malachi chapter 1. That's your precept to that, just to show you that the Old Testament is saying the same thing as the New Testament.
Right.
Go ahead.
The book of Romans chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
The Lord has a particular people that he loves, and he has a particular people that he has hated. And Christians will try to twist this up and make it not mean what it actually means.
Right.
But the Bible has continuity. The Bible is the same from the front to the end of it. From the beginning to the end, the Bible is telling the same thing. I believe, what's the precept? And lo, I come in the volume of the book. I come in the whole book. The truth is you can't read half a damn Bible. You can't read, just have the New Testament or just have the Old. You need the whole thing for it to make sense. Precept upon precept. Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah 28 and 10. Precept upon precept, line upon line.
Right.
That's how you have to read the Bible. Well, the Lord said, Jacob have I loved, and Esau have I hated. Go ahead, keep reading.
Verse 14. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God?
So because God says that he hates someone, you know how Christians are. God says, is there unrighteous with God? Is there unrighteous? Am I unrighteous because I hate someone? Go ahead.
God forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. And I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion.
So the Lord is the one that decides on who he's going to have mercy on and who he's going to have compassion. But understanding what the Lord just said, is there any unrighteousness in you? If you feel hatred towards somebody that has killed your family.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like
you was looking at me like, are you asking me the question? I'm saying the point is that the emotions that the Most High have, okay, like the emotions the Most High have, we have those emotions too. Like the Lord wouldn't give us those emotions if he didn't have those emotions, like to be angry, to be upset, to be indignant. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people say, like, you can't, Christianity says you can't feel a certain type of way.
Right.
Because God is all love. No, he's not. He wouldn't have gave us the ability to feel this way if he didn't feel that way.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the point. But yes, the Lord hated these people. We read throughout history who the Edomites were. I showed you in American history, in world history, who they are today. And you can count your bottom dollar that the Lord don't love them.
Right.
But he does love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
He do love y'all. He do love the people that everybody don't love. The people that everybody wants to take advantage of. The people that everybody says plays the victim too much.
Right.
The people that everybody says plays the race card too much. The people that everybody says whines too much when a black person gets shot by the police. The Lord does love those people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Drop that. Give me Isaiah 34:1. All right.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them.
I'm sorry. What verse we on?
Verse 2.
Okay, keep going.
Come on. And his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to their slaughter.
The Lord
to the slaughter.
Still again. The Lord is speaking to all the nations, right? And this is his judgment to all of these nations. Says his indignation and his fury on all their armies. They're going to be destroyed. Give me verse 3.
Verse 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses.
The Lord said that there's going to be bodies laying everywhere, and the smell going to be everywhere. Go ahead.
And the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
And it's going to be blood everywhere. This is the God that Christians say is all love. Keep reading.
Verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. And all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree.
All of their hosts, all their armies in the sky, everything that's going on in the sky, you know, that air superiority and all of that, it's gonna get rolled up.
Right.
Just like the sling. I'm about to roll this nigga up. They gonna get it's gonna get rolled up and it's gonna fall out of the sky. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
Upon who?
Idumea.
Idumea is Rome. Idumea is Edom.
Right.
Idumea is America. Go ahead.
Right. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. This sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath a sacrifice of Basra, and a great slaughter.
Basra was a capital city of Edom. Go ahead.
And a great slaughter in the land of Idumea.
Listen, man, what are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? We're just talking about who the white race is in history. We went through who they were in history, who they are today, and their characteristics, and the judgment that the Lord is bringing upon them.
Right.
You read that chapter, and it goes in heavy, and it's going to be a sore day for this world.
Right.
For this world that is ruled by America, and their trust is in their airplanes, their trust is in their military might. They have trust in all of these things, and don't understand that the judgment of the Lord is fierce wrath, and it's going to be a bloodbath. And people they just don't think God is like that. They don't think that God is like that. They don't understand the manner of the God that we serve, the power that we serve, that wants vengeance for his people. Right. He said, my sword is bathed in blood. You understand? And that is what is coming to America. Right. I'm gonna drop that. That's the end of that. I'm gonna go into this is a bullwhip days, the slaves remember, an oral history. This is a slave narrative. I'm gonna go into one particular story I came across. I thought it was very enlightening, inspirational, powerful. It's a vision that a slave had. Okay, I'm gonna read it. Right. So this is Bullwhip Days, the Slaves Remember, an oral history, edited by James Mellon, page 192. It says, when I've been converted, I went to heaven in the spirit and seen with the eye of faith. I done been there. Heaven is white as snow. God and the Holy Ghost, they is one and set at a big table with the book stretched out before him. God's two eyes, just like two big suns shining, and he is like lamb's wool. I walked in there and looked over his shoulder. He had a long gold pen and wrote something down, and writ down the name of the people down on that. Basically, they wrote it like how a slave was talking. So she's saying he wrote down the names of the people that ain't there yet. And when he called their roll up there, and he in his own time, he know them. Okay, so what stood out, there's more, but I'm gonna stop right there. What stood out is that when she seen the Most High, his eyes was like shining like the sun. You know, in Revelation, it says that Christ's eyes were going to be red with fire. Right. It also says that Christ here is white as snow, like white like lamb's wool, right? And she said the same thing. That this is a ex-slave that is giving an account of having a vision and seeing a black God in the vision. When it comes to this truth, I know it is very hard for brothers and sisters in the world to understand that what we say that comes out the Bible is the absolute fact. Right. You understand? It is the absolute fact. It's not fiction. We're not playing games. And sooner or later, you will have to find out either in a good way or the hard way that this is the truth, and that you can't outshake the truth, and you can't try different philosophies and different religions to fix yourself and to fix your life. And I would rather brothers and sisters come into this truth by doing their own personal study, by going in closed doors and praying to the Lord and asking him for some wisdom and some understanding in who he is and what is the purpose of life, so that you don't get caught up in the fire, the one that we just read about in Isaiah 34. Right. When Christ returns, when the angels return, and when America is going to be bathed in the blood of the wicked. I pray you understand. With that, that's the class. All right. Let me give shout outs to brothers and sisters that's in the class. One last roll call for everybody rocking with me. Daughter of a King was in here. Sister Baratha Nawa. Princess Nakaf was in here. That Gamer Honesty 06 was in here. Black Dazzle was in here. Kev was in here. Excuse me. Officer I Warrior was in here. Regalia Ban Yahawada was in here. Officer Kodashia Allah was up in here. Sister Olivia Arnold was up in here. Officer Magun Amaf was up in here. Officer Salakia. Ra'a Ha'awar Kokomo was up in here. Shalom. Matham Yaban Yashikar was up in here. Adolphus Last was up in here. Let's see. Kalmaz Baf was up in here. That Gamer Honesty. Sister Barathanawa, Black Dazzle. Hey, shout out to y'all. I'll be back. Next Wednesday? What we gonna talk about next Wednesday? I didn't have no slides. I be want to have slides. I didn't have no slides, y'all. I should have had some slides on Esau. Should have had something, right? But it's okay though. It's all right. The breakdown went out though. So
That's right.
let me see. What is on the menu? We can go back. We can go back to Moses being in Egypt. Moses in the hieroglyphs and Moses in the artifacts of ancient Egypt. That might be good. We'll see what we do. Something beneficial for the brothers and sisters, for our people. Hey, the water to you, Aldolphus Last. The water to you, brother. With that, I'm gonna play a video. Let me find something real quick.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. It's about to get serious.